Did you know that people who struggle to say no are 40% more likely to experience burnout? Constantly saying yes doesn't just drain your energy, it's one of the biggest threats to your happiness. Imagine what it would feel like to say no without guilt and create more space for what really matters. Setting boundaries can feel difficult, but it's one of the most impactful steps you can take for your well-being. I know exactly what it feels like to overcommit. For years, I said yes to every request. Extra work projects, social invites, even small favors for friends. I didn't want to let anyone down, but I ended up feeling completely burnt out, stretched thin, and honestly, pretty frustrated. Can you relate? If you've ever felt that saying yes has taken away time and energy from things that truly matter to you, then this video is for you. Today, we're diving into the art of saying no. Together, we'll explore why saying no can be so challenging, and I'll share powerful strategies that will help you say no with confidence and kindness. We'll also look at how setting boundaries can completely transform your life. Understanding the power of saying no. Let's start by understanding why saying no feels so difficult. Why do so many of us have this natural tendency to default to yes without really thinking about it? For many of us, it's a mix of fears and pressures. We worry that saying no will make us seem selfish or unreliable, and we don't want to disappoint others. Terms like fear of missing out, social pressure, and need for acceptance play a big role here. But each time we say yes to something that doesn't align with our priorities, we're actually saying no to our own needs, values, and long-term goals. A powerful example of someone who understood the value of saying no is Warren Buffett. He once said, "The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything." Buffett's approach was to guard his time fiercely, saying no to distractions and projects that didn't align with his top priorities. By creating space for what truly mattered, he was able to focus deeply on a few key goals and achieve remarkable success. His story reminds us that when we say no to the things that don't align with our values, we're making space for a meaningful and intentional life. Think of each no as a way to open up time for a stronger, more impactful yes. The cost of not setting boundaries. Now let's take a moment to get real about the cost of not setting boundaries. When we ignore our own limits and say yes to everything, there's a real impact, not just on our time, but on our overall quality of life. When we don't set boundaries, we end up sacrificing our physical and mental well-being. Our health, our relationships, our productivity at work, all of these are affected. For instance, studies show that people who struggle to set boundaries and take on too many responsibilities experience much higher levels of stress and are at a greater risk of burnout. Imagine constantly feeling overwhelmed because you're juggling too many commitments, or feeling resentful because your own needs are always put on the back burner. Over time, this can lead to fatigue, anxiety, and even resentment towards those you initially tried to help. Think about a time when you said yes to something that you later regretted. Maybe it was a work project that took over your weekends, or a favor for a friend that you really didn't have the energy for. How did that make you feel? This is the true cost of not setting boundaries. And the sooner we recognize it, the sooner we can start taking action. Share your story in the comments if you feel comfortable. I'd love to hear about your experiences, and you never know who you might inspire by sharing. So, if setting boundaries is so beneficial, why is it still so challenging for so many of us? Saying no can feel uncomfortable, and we often avoid it to keep the peace or maintain good relationships. For some, it's the fear of letting others down or not meeting social expectations. Society often associates being nice with always being available or willing to help. But this mindset can come at a cost to our own needs and self-respect. There's also the fear of conflict. Many people are conflict averse and worry that saying no could lead to confrontation or hurt feelings. But what if we looked at saying no in a different way? Boundaries are actually a form of self-respect. When you set boundaries, you're showing that you value yourself and your time. Imagine saying no as a way of honoring yourself and your own priorities. On a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable are you with saying no? Let us know in the comments. There's no judgment here, just a supportive space to share and learn from each other. This simple act of reflection might even help you identify some of the reasons behind your own hesitations when it comes to saying no. Let's get into some practical strategies for saying no in a way that feels both confident and kind. Setting boundaries doesn't have to mean shutting people down or coming across as harsh. The first step is to get crystal clear on what truly matters to you. When you have a strong sense of your goals and values, it becomes so much easier to decide when to say no. Use I statements to be polite yet firm. Instead of simply saying no, try framing it like, "I appreciate the offer, but I need to focus on something else right now." Don't feel pressure to answer immediately. Take a moment before you respond to any request. Saying, "Let me think about it," buys you time to evaluate whether the request aligns with your priorities. If saying a direct no feels difficult, offer an alternative that feels more comfortable. For instance, "I can't help this week, but I'd be happy to next time." Choose one of these strategies to try this week. Think about a specific situation where you could use it. Feel free to drop a comment if you're up for the challenge or want to share your experience. Let's look at some real-life scenarios where saying no can be difficult and how you can handle them in a way that respects both your boundaries and the people involved. Workplace scenario. If a colleague asks for extra help, you could say, "I'm currently focused on a specific project right now. Can we prioritize what's most important?" This response shows that you're willing to help, but also reminds them of your existing commitments and boundaries. Family and friends. When a friend or family member asks for a favor, try, "I'd love to support you, but I need some time for myself right now." This shows you care while reinforcing that your own time is valuable. Social situations. If someone invites you out, but you're feeling drained and need rest, say, "Thanks for the invite, but I'm taking time to recharge tonight. Let's catch up soon." This is a simple yet honest way to protect your energy without alienating anyone. Digital boundaries. Technology can blur the lines between work and personal time, so setting boundaries here is key. Try something like, "I don't check messages after 8 p.m. Setting digital boundaries like this can help protect your personal time and reduce stress. Think about a scenario in your life where you need a boundary. Let us know in the comments if you want advice or support from our community. Real-life benefits of setting boundaries. Now let's picture what life looks like when you set strong boundaries. Imagine feeling in control of your schedule, having more time to focus on things you care about, and experiencing less stress and frustration. Setting boundaries can improve relationships, give you more personal time, and boost job satisfaction. Think of it like a before and after transformation. Before setting boundaries, you might feel stressed, scattered, or overwhelmed. But with boundaries in place, you feel centered, calm, and in control. Visualizing this after state can be a powerful motivator. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine your own after story. What could you achieve if you started saying no more often? Encouragement and final tips. Learning to say no is a skill that strengthens with practice. Remember, setting boundaries isn't selfish. It's essential for a balanced, fulfilling life. Self-compassion. Boundaries are a form of self-respect and kindness. Give yourself permission to say no when it's needed. This simple act is an investment in your long-term happiness. 7-day boundary challenge. Here's a challenge for you, the 7-day boundary challenge. Try saying no at least once each day this week. Comment below if you're joining in and come back to share your experience with us. Keep a journal, jot down your reflections, and see how setting boundaries feels by the end of the week. We're here to support each other on this journey. Remember, every no to others is a yes to yourself. Embrace it, protect your energy, and prioritize what truly matters. If this video resonated with you, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more content like this, and join our community in the comments. What's one thing you'll say no to this week? Let's support each other in making positive changes.